Welcome back to Faith and Freedom 250, a special series from the Herzog Foundation. We're celebrating America's spiritual heritage as we approach our nation's 250th birthday. Today, we look at a president whose faith and courage helped define American character, Theodore Roosevelt.
In an age of growing materialism and moral uncertainty, Theodore Roosevelt's call to fear God and take your own part captured the essence of both his faith and his vision for America. Although he spoke those words later in life, after his presidency, they summed up a personal philosophy that he developed early on, one he returned to again and again.
Recognized as one of America's most activist leaders, Roosevelt used every office he held to advance his influence. As president, he famously described the White House as his bully pulpit, a platform from which he could advocate his moral and political agenda. From that lofty perch, Roosevelt proposed many ideas and initiatives, but woven through all his speeches was a vision for America and its people. It was a vision that combined morality, faith, and patriotism.
Roosevelt believed that living a righteous life was essential to being a good American. He tied the success of our nation directly to Christian ideals, and he urged Americans to live with action and courage, not complacency. Roosevelt was a dynamic person who expected the same level of energy and commitment from all United States citizens. The success of the nation, in his view, was rooted in action, faith, and love of one's country.
To really understand Roosevelt's worldview during his presidency and later life, it is essential to start with one of his earlier writings, one central to all his beliefs. It is called The Strenuous Life, written in 1899. While not overtly Christian, it aligned with the late 19th century movement known as muscular Christianity, a philosophy that combined morality, faith, patriotism, and even athletic ability. He wrote, "A soft, easy life is not worth living if it impairs the fiber of manhood. I wish to preach not the doctrine of ignoble ease, but the doctrine of the strenuous life, the life of toil and effort, of labor and strife." End quote. That one statement defined his belief that strength, courage, and service were a requirement for success, personally and nationally.
For Roosevelt, faith wasn't just a private belief, it was the foundation of citizenship. He believed that faith forged the civic character of people. As a lifelong member of the Dutch Reformed Church, his personal faith life was evident in his public life. At the turn of the century, he said plainly, "No man can be a good citizen who is not at the same time a good husband, a good father, and who is not honest in his dealings." Although he did not state it implicitly, one can infer that if one lived the life of a good Christian, it would transfer to good citizenship as well. He believed that good Christians naturally became good citizens, and that faith should be lived out daily, not just confined to a Sunday service.
Like many leaders before him, Roosevelt equated patriotism with the belief that the United States was part of a greater plan ordained by God. In the same way George Washington attributed success in the Revolution and the founding of the nation to divine providence, Roosevelt viewed the progress of the nation as an extension of God's handiwork. Like Washington before him, Roosevelt saw no separation between moral virtue and public strength. For both men, national greatness required individual righteousness. "There must be the keenest sense of national honor," Roosevelt stated, "with the belief in our people and in our mission under God."
His political messages often sounded like sermons. Understanding that actions speak louder than words, when Roosevelt invited Booker T. Washington to dine at the White House, he wasn't making a political gesture. He was acting on moral conviction, believing that Christian brotherhood could overcome social prejudice. He would frame patriotism as a sacred duty and a moral obligation. Citizens who loved their country and moved it forward were not merely helping their nation, but fulfilling part of a divine plan. He would use this same argument to promote national service in the military, in civic life, and in other national issues, often with Christian ethics and morality as his theme.
In Theodore Roosevelt's world, America was a great nation because of its rich spiritual heritage. That heritage in his time was a Christian worldview. He valued the Bible as a unifying moral force, something that bound citizens together rather than divided them. He tapped into the common lessons his countrymen learned in church and school, using them to unite the nation through his statements and speeches.
Roosevelt felt that Christianity was indispensable to the American experience. In 1901, he said, quote, "The teachings of the Bible are so interwoven and entwined with our whole civic and social life that it would be literally impossible for us to figure out what life would be if these teachings were removed." End quote. For him, the equation was simple. When Americans lived as righteous, God-fearing people, they thrived. When they turned away from God's word, they faltered.
His Christian values and his strenuous life philosophy shaped his vision for the American people. He expressed concern about a society that did not value faith, duty, and sacrifice. He could sense that spiritual decline among citizens would lead to civic decline and a loss of what he felt was America. Toward the end of his life, he reflected, "The things that will destroy America are prosperity at any price, peace at any price, safety first instead of duty first." Roosevelt believed when American citizens chose the path of the soft and comfortable life, they forfeited their opportunity to succeed as a nation.
Throughout his life, Roosevelt stayed true to his beliefs and shared a consistent message. Christian faith builds character. Character builds good citizens, and good citizens defend their nation with courage, sacrifice, and duty.
That's why Theodore Roosevelt's call to fear God and take your own part is so powerful and still echoes today. It's a reminder that the strength of a republic doesn't rest only on its armies or laws, but in the faith and character of its people. I'm Darrell Jones with the Herzog Foundation. Thank you for joining us for Faith and Freedom 250.